when you say that, y'all don't understand. We take it as disrespect. We feel some type of way. It hurts our feelings. Do y'all? And to y'all like, well, they're just feelings, but we're emotional beings. Don't forget that. So what it means to you is completely different than what it means to me as a woman who thrives on just being successful, being diverse, being able to be there for my man because I know what society has him up against. I don't want to be a burden, but I also want to be taken care of. But I do want to help in whatever ways I can. But I don't want you to make it seem like my role isn't important because if it wasn't, you wouldn't be with your wife and he wouldn't be with his wife. She obviously brings some type of value that's very important. When y'all choose y'all wives, y'all say it all the time. Y'all very specific because y'all know that happiness means a lot to y'all. Having your kids being raised the right way, having a good example of a wife, like you said, having a woman, and a lot of men say this, y'all say this a lot. Well, women don't give men that safe space. Women don't allow men to heal. Do you know what we have to do? And that you don't because it's not your job. But it's a lot of work for us as women to put our emotions to the side with us being emotional beings to be able to heal you, to be able to understand you, to not judge you the way that the world has taught us to judge you when it's time for us to be able to get down to the root cause of your childhood trauma. That takes a lot of work for us as women. So when you say it's not the equal value, well, a lot of men, you have to understand, they didn't have good mothers. They had single mothers, mothers who was always working and not doing enough healing. So we get these single men and we have to do the jobs that they mothers didn't do, and sometimes we was raised by single women too. That takes a lot from us. A woman cannot be with a man who's not completely healed. Because remember, yeah, I understand that in a marriage, yes, it's supposed to look a certain type of way. But whenever we're talking on these subjects, y'all forget that we're talking about the people that's having those disconnects. We're not talking about how it's supposed to be. We're talking about why is the disconnect. And the point of having these conversations is to understand the disconnect so we can change how we've been treating each other so we can get back to marriage. So we can get back to how it's supposed to be. So we can get back to trusting men the way we're supposed to trust men. So we can let y'all in and submit the way we need to submit. We're just trying to tell y'all what we need and how society has affected us to make us feel like, okay, and I told them this the other week. If a man give me what I need to heal, I would give him the world.
So
I would give him the world because that y'all said it. Men set the tone. And I would
Dial,
love a man like that, but a lot of men don't come healed. And if they
Hold
not
on, Ed.
healed,
Hold
it's
on, Ed.
our job to help them heal so they can lead correctly.
So do you see the difference that was allowed to happen? You cut us off, and you was allowed to finish your whole statement without being interrupted. As a man, we accept that. We accept that there's double standards in the world. We accept that. But see, you don't want to accept that though. You want to
Hey,
fight against it because the way you feel. No, ma'am, I didn't cut you off. You are talking about, how we feel. Ma'am, 90% of y'all we cannot be vulnerable with. 90% of women, we can't tell us how we really feel. We can't tell you what we're really going through at work because we know y'all won't accept that. We know y'all will judge us or y'all will look down upon us. Y'all can't accept a man who was, what if your man cried every day? You're going to look at you, what's wrong with you? Acting like a little bitch. You're going to start disrespecting that man. You ain't going to have no respect for that man. Talk about, oh, you could be vulnerable. Bullshit. That first time he's vulnerable, your ass gonna tell everybody in the neighborhood what's going on with that man. Oh, little Johnny got touched. Little Johnny
I'm
has some
asking why he crying like a
and
girl.
that's not right. And that's not right.
Exactly.
It's not
Thank
right.
you. Thank you,
It's not
Chanel,
right.
for proving my goddamn point what I just sit
It's
there and
not
said.
right.
No. Dad, you said it's not right, but what Chanel just said there said, why you crying like a little girl? That's what most women are talking. That's the most women's mentality.
I
Not
said
yours, what you're
that's why
talking about,
men not
Dad.
healing.
Those are 10% of the women. The other 90% are taking the same role as Chanel. Why you crying like a little girl? Exactly. Thank you, ma'am.
so another thing too, Shy, that Di, that you said early on, that there's nothing wrong with being a woman. A man, when men say that you handle that when men say that you acting like a girl, or when men compare, it was something that you had said earlier, but you
I said
guys
when
make
men
it.
want to be praised for certain things
Well, no, no,
and
no,
they act
no.
like this makes
Wait,
them
wait,
more
wait, wait,
valuable,
wait, wait.
women tend
I
to want to
just
do
had
it
it. I
too.
just had it. So there's My point is that there's nothing wrong with being a woman and there's nothing wrong with being a man. Men and women play two different roles in society. Men are supposed to protect, they take out the trash, they fix shit around the house, handyman, right? Women are supposed to nurture, they typically cook, they nurture the home, they help with they tend with the children, so on and so forth. Both people, both sides have to play a role. So there's nothing wrong with being a woman that plays your role of taking care of your family the way that you're supposed to as a role player. There's nothing wrong with a man taking care of his responsibilities as a role player. So the disconnect here is that when women hear that stuff, y'all hear it as if we're saying that it's a bad thing. It's nothing bad about it. That's just simply what the roles are, and those are the expectations of society. So it's when y'all do that, it makes it seem that you guys want to be equal, but just how he explained and just how I pointed out these roles that we have played in society, we're not equal. It's we both have our own roles to play in society, and that's simply what it is, man.
My issue wasn't equal. My issue was valuable. We're equally valuable. My value is just as important as your value in order for these
Nobody said
kids, in
that it's
order
not
for these
though.
kids, in
Nobody said
order
that
for
it's
these
not though.
kids to be raised correctly, in order for this household to maintain what it's doing, in order for you to maintain a healthy man frame, to continue to go to work, come home, and do everything that you do for us, my role is equally valuable. And that's why I said, I didn't say we want your role, but when you start to tell us that your role is more valuable, and then you start listing off the things that makes your role more valuable, now women say, well, we
Is the
got the
leader
resources to do that too. We
is
want
a
to do it too.
leader's
We want to
role
be as valuable as you are.
is a
So
leader's
sometimes,
role not
so for
valuable?
instance, I'm
Is a
not
I think
gonna.
leader's
it's
role
ridiculous to say that gender roles don't
Yeah,
exist, but then say that patriarchy doesn't
it's just
exist. Like, I mean, we're contradicting ourselves here.
Because I
nobody
feel
said
like
patriarchy don't
patriarchy
exist.
is the one
Nobody
telling
Nobody
said
said
that it
y'all
didn't
patriarchy
that
don't
Y'all
exist.
exist.
there's
definitely
not
were
equal
saying that
value.
Nobody
patriarchy does
said
not
that.
exist. Y'all
Nobody said
definitely
that it
said
did not
patriarchy does
exist.
not exist.
I think y'all were more so downing the effects of patriarchy. That's what's happening. It's like, oh, that's not a
But that's
thing
the
because
difference.
y'all ain't there no more.
It's
That's what y'all.
Natasha saying we saying it didn't exist. That's a difference in saying it's not the same than it doesn't exist. That's two different
That's-
No,
things,
y'all
man.
did
So
say
does
that
so does
earlier,
it
though.
exist
Y'all
or does
said it
it
don't
not
exist
exist?
Don't do
anymore.
that.
Y'all definitely
You've been
said
in
that.
Because
and out.
you
You
were
don't
you
even
were
know
saying
what
we can't complain about something that we're not currently going through. So does it currently exist or does it not? Because you're identifying gender roles and then saying that patriarchy doesn't exist in our sense that we can't complain about things, but then you're saying we need to respect gender roles here.
well,
And I'm
man.
gonna be honest,
So
y'all think
Natasha,
that.
I wanted to
Oh,
ask.
Natasha, don't you and your wife have gender roles? Because you sit there and said you don't take out the trash, right? So that
I don't
means
take
I'm
out the
assuming
trash,
your
and
wife
I
or
will be
your
the
lady.
first person to say I am a very traditional person in my heterosexual relationship. My wife is masculine presenting. I'm not going to take out the trash. I ain't going to wash my car. I'm not going to tend to my house. There are certain things that I absolutely will not do.
So is that not
Okay,
a
so
gender role?
your wife,
It is a
as you
gender
call
role,
her,
but I'm
Okay,
also
so
not
what?
saying that patriarchy doesn't exist.
nobody
I
said that
said
said
more
it didn't, man.
valuable.
Nobody said it didn't exist.
Okay.
The
well,
issue is y'all say
We,
it's
Or
more
saying that I can't
I
valuable.
said
complain
it's
about
not.
it because I didn't
I
experience
said
it.
it's not the same. I said patriarchy's not the same as y'all what y'all try to make it is. It's not
Okay.
the same. Nobody said it didn't exist.
Well, shout
And,
out
and,
to you,
and,
Mr. Hink, for your 2.5 seconds of taking out the trash and changing the oil or
Oh
doing whatever
wow,
else it is that you do around the house.
wow,
Since we're
and,
identifying gender roles.
wow. That's messed up.
I'm
That's
Well, I
saying,
just wanted to
y'all should
say
see us
is,
as a team,
that's
man. I mean,
can
that's very
anybody
that's
hear
dismissive.
really what
me?
it is.
That's
I think Ray was saying it earlier. Y'all just see men as checks, and
Can you
it's
can you
sad
hear me?
that that's
I'm
why
glad I don't
we
have
equate
one
men
then.
too.
Oh no, I
No, you
think that
got one. You just got to
No,
split. That's
I
it.
don't. I don't.
I don't know if